5 of the 12 causes of human error in maintenance. We call these the dirty dozen. They are distraction, lack of knowledge, complacency, norms, and lack of assertiveness. There are 7 others to be aware of which will help in recognizing and reducing human error in performing tasks. Lack of teamwork is the failure to work together to complete a shared goal. Mechanics should discuss how the job is done and make sure everyone understands and agrees. This is extremely important if 2 inspectors are teamed together using the same checklist or work card to perform an inspection. Teamwork, however, was not a factor during the Cessna 182 inspection because only 1 mechanic performed the 100-hour inspection. Fatigue is physical or mental exhaustion which threatens work performance. Mechanics should watch for symptoms of fatigue in themselves and others. If fatigued, mechanics should ask others to check their work. Lack of resources is the lack of people, equipment, documentation, time, parts, etc. to complete a task. Mechanics should plan ahead, order parts before they are required, or have a plan for pooling or loaning parts. Pressure is external or internal forces demanding high-level job performance. It can be real or perceived. Mechanics should communicate their concerns and not be afraid to ask for help. Lack of communication is the failure to transmit, receive, or provide sufficient feedback in order to complete a task. Mechanics must never assume anything. Itemize needed and completed work. Stress is a physical or mental condition resulting from external forces. It may affect health and quality of work. A mechanic must take a rational approach to problem solving and take short breaks when needed to reassess what they are doing. Lack of awareness is the failure to see a condition, understand what it is, and predict the possible results. Mechanics need to see the big safety picture. Don't let your work conflict with an existing repair. The Maintenance Personal Minimums Checklist is a tool a mechanic should use to perform a self-assessment when doing tasks. It is a list of questions you should ask yourself and answer honestly before and after performing a task. Let's review the Personal Minimums Self-Assessment Checklist items a mechanic should ask before beginning a task. Do I have the knowledge to perform the task? Knowledge is having the range of information or understanding to adequately perform a particular task. Do I have the knowledge of the aircraft or system I am about to inspect? Do I thoroughly understand the instructions and information contained in the manufacturer's maintenance manual? Airworthiness directives, type certificate data sheets, supplemental type certificate, service bulletins, service instructions, appropriate inspections checklists, or inspections work cards. Do I know the maintenance and operational history of the aircraft that I am about to inspect? Do I have the technical data to perform the task? Do I have the current manufacturer's maintenance manual, and do I understand the procedures it contains? Do I have access to airworthiness directives, type certificate data sheets, supplemental type certificate, service bulletins, and service instructions? Do I have the appropriate inspection checklist or inspection work cards, and do I understand the instructions? Do I have data that is applicable to the specific tasks about to be performed? Have I performed the task before? Do I have enough experience from previously performing the task to do the task correctly without supervision? Do I have the proper tools and equipment to perform the task? Do I have necessary inspection aids such as a flashlight and mirror? Do I have and know how to properly use special tools equipment required by applicable maintenance manuals? Have the tools that require calibration been checked recently? Have I had the proper training to support the job task? Did I get adequate formal training or on-the-job training? Was I provided with adequate instructions to properly perform the task without supervision? Are my inspection techniques effective? Am I mentally prepared to perform the job task? Am I confident that I can do the job properly? Do I possess the assertiveness to speak up or otherwise document concerns about instructions, questionable procedures, or action of others? If distractions occur, am I prepared to effectively cope with them so task accomplishment is not affected? Am I physically prepared to perform the task? Am I focused on the job I am about to do? Am I rested? If I recognize symptoms of fatigue in myself, I should ask others to check my work. Am I experiencing any stress? Have I taken the proper safety precautions to perform the task? Am I cognizant of safety hazards and tried to eliminate or reduce them? Do I have the resources available to perform the task? Have I planned effectively to know what resources I need and where to get them when needed? Have I researched the FARs to ensure compliance? Do I know what FARs are applicable, and do I understand what they say? Do I understand which airworthiness directives apply, and do I understand the instructions? We just finished discussing 10 questions a mechanic should ask before performing a task. There are also 10 assessment questions a mechanic should ask after completing a task. These are: did I perform the job task to the best of my abilities? Was the job task performed to be equal to the original? Was the job task performed in accordance with appropriate data? Did I use all the methods, techniques, and practices acceptable to the industry? Did I perform the job task without pressure, stress, and distractions? Remember that pressure, stress, and distractions are 3 of the 12 common causes of human errors in maintenance. Pressure is external or internal forces demanding high-level job performance. It can be real or perceived. If you're feeling pressure on the job, you should communicate your concern or ask for help. Stress is physical or mental conditions resulting from external forces. It may affect health and quality of work. If you are experiencing stress, you should take a rational approach to problem solving, take a short break when needed. Distraction. It's the unlimited number of possible events and/or conditions that interrupt one's ability to focus on a specific task. You can't eliminate all distractions, but you can reduce their effects by going back 3 steps when you return to the job, using detailed checklists to keep track of your progress. Did I re-inspect my work or have someone inspect my work before return to service? Did I make the proper record entries for the work performed? Did I perform the operational checks after the work was completed? Am I willing to sign on the bottom line for the work performed? Am I willing to fly in the aircraft once it is approved for the return to service? The Maintenance Personal Minimum Checklist is available in a convenient pocket size. You can keep it with you on the job and refer to it each time you are performing a task.